Hey, actually, first off, I want to say thank you for the whole feedback on the first video I did. Ladies, you gave some really good answers, and some really good opinions too. Honestly, I didn't know that women had all that going on mentally upon conversation. But aside from that, I didn't want to leave the fellas out and make it seem like I was just trying to get at females or kind of get in their mental space and see where they're at. I want to know just about people in general that I come across, because I can only see what I see, I guess, on conversation. So I wanted to ask a question, I guess, for the fellas, mainly my young black men that are mostly my age, early 20s, mid 20s, early 30s. I know women probably won't ask you this either, not to say that I think like a woman, but I just want to know the same thing. Like, I know what we see on TV from us as being black men is money, cars, cash, clothes, liquor, you know, that kind of lifestyle, and that's all good. You know, don't get me wrong, if that's what you do, that's what you're into, that's cool, like, go ahead. But what I want to know is, and what most people probably won't ask you is, how long does that lifestyle last? Because you can't be 50 years old still trying to rap and produce music and, you know, go into the club and a bar every night at 55, 60 years old. Like, your ass gotta sit down sometime. So, but what I really mean to try to inquire about is, how long is that acceptable? Because eventually, most of you are gonna want to settle down, maybe have a family, maybe start a business venture, or whatever you want to do. But a lot of my partners that I see are getting older, and, you know, the fresh sneakers and the chains and the jewelry and the cars and the rims, all that shit ain't gonna last very long, you know? Eventually your sneakers are gonna get old. Eventually your jewelry's gonna look shitty. Eventually your car's gonna end up with 300,000 miles. Like, what I'm trying to say is, how long do you keep that up until you actually start to change your own perspective about how you see life? Because me personally, I'm not really into that kind of thing, and I'm not really trying to like emulate that lifestyle. Like, I was raised a little different, and my mind works a little differently. I kind of see that now in reverse, like as a younger kind of dude. So I wonder, I mean, because don't get me wrong, I used to try to be like that. I used to try to buy all this shit for my car, and I used to try to, you know, basically kind of imitate that shit that I see on TV, that I see from my older friends. So, and I got it through my head after a while, like, you know, it's not working for me. Like, I don't want to be that when I'm old. I don't want my kids trying to do that shit or seeing me do that shit at the same time as them. So what I was trying to find out is, what do you do when that gets old? What happens then? Do you suddenly go from thug to businessman, or do you go from, you know, rapper slash producer to owner? How does that work? What goes through a man's mind, or what's supposed to happen, or how's the transition supposed to go down when he changes? Because eventually he's going to change. If it doesn't happen basically from like a tragic situation, like maybe the loss of all those things, or jail, or whatever the case may be, it has to happen gradually. So what do you do when your swag runs out, when you know, when these females stop fucking with you like that? Like, what happens then? What do you do? Shit, what do you do when that happens at like 25? Like, what do you do then? Where do you go? How does that change? I just want to know, basically, because the lifestyle that I'm trying to live, that shit stopped for me maybe 2 years ago. You know, and I'm 24. Like, that's not, you know, I just, something clicked, something was wrong, because I see these people that are on TV that are really dope and everything, but it's only for a limited time. There's very few people that I see on TV or in music or in the industry that have a consistent career for 10, 20, 30 years plus. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, they eventually fade out. The people that I thought was dope when I was like 10 or 12 are not even making music or doing any of that type of stuff anymore. They all have a family. They all have, you know, like 18 kids and all this other shit going on. Like, what happened? They didn't just wake up overnight and just say, you know what, all right, I'm gonna be dad. I'm gonna be a grandfather. Like, when does that happen, or how does it happen, or does it happen at all? Or do you just go from 60 to 0 and just dead stop and nothing from that? So, I mean, give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. I mean, if I'm seeing things correctly or if I'm seeing it incorrectly, let me know. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm, you know, if I'm seeing it from a biased standpoint. Because I really want to know. I mean, I fear for some of my partners. Like, they're on this young guy shit and they're getting up there 30, 35, 40. Like, I fear for my dudes. I mean, I know where I'm going, but I don't know what's going to happen to them. And I don't really know what to tell them. So, even ladies, like, even if your dude is in that kind of lifestyle, or maybe he changed, I mean, give me some input so that I can see it correctly. Let me know what you think.